Okay.
Hello and welcome to Little Steps Live. I am Leah from Little Steps and this is my lovely colleague Natalie.
Hi.
And today's a very exciting Little Steps Live. We are live from the Hong Kong Dog Rescue Homing Centre in Hong Kong and we are going to learn all about adopting a dog.
So exciting. Just before we get started, because I know you all want to meet our special guests here, including our new furry friend, I just want to let you know some reminders before we get started. So we go live twice a month, and the best place to go is on Facebook into our events section. We update all the events that are coming up, so all the live sessions. You can click on interested or going, and then you'll get reminders direct to your phone. So then it's the best way. We've got some really cool ones coming up as well. A reminder also to sign up for our weekly newsletters. They are jam-packed full of amazing content from all our cities, Hong Kong, Singapore, KL and more. We'll put the description in, we'll put the link in the description, and finally, feel free to ask us any questions along the session today, because this is the perfect time. So, and send us loads of love.
Okay, so if you have been thinking about expanding your family with a furry member, or if your kids keep bugging you to get a puppy, like mine did, then turn the volume up because today we are going to get all of the crucial information that you need to know if you're thinking about adopting a dog. We have teamed up with Cactus Mok, who is the Education and Training Manager at Hong Kong Dog Rescue, and she's going to answer all our pressing questions for us. So thank you for joining us today, Cactus.
You're welcome.
And welcome to Little Steps Live.
Thank you for having me.
And who's your friend?
And this is Barney. He is around 2 to 3 months old.
He
He's
is
still
adorable.
waiting for
I think he'll be adopted soon. So do you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself, Cactus, and of course Hong Kong Dog Rescue?
Yeah, I am the Education and Training Manager of Hong Kong Dog Rescue. So my main duty would be to provide training support to our foster and adopter families so that they will have some backup when they feel uncertain how to help their newly adopted dogs to settle down at home. And then for Hong Kong Dog Rescue, this is our 16 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and then our main missions is to rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome the homeless dogs and puppies in Hong Kong. So far, we have successfully rehomed over 9,000 dogs.
Amazing.
Throughout the years, but we still have over 650 dogs currently under our care.
Okay, wow.
Right, okay. So now you can see why Hong Kong Dog Rescue was the best place for us to come to get all of our dog adopting questions answered.
And today we're going to split up the session into 4 key areas. So knowing if you're ready to adopt a dog, also how to prepare the family and the home, and which breeds are best for the family, and finishing off with the importance of dog training. So just to kickstart, are you ready to adopt a dog? Kids love to ask us every day, can I have a dog? But what are the key things that we need to consider in knowing we're ready to adopt a dog?
I think there's 3 main sections. So we do have increasingly number of families who ask us, can we adopt a dog just because the kids want one? Yeah. But we all know kids, they change their minds and then they change their interests very quickly.
They get bored easily
right?
too.
And then they are a child themselves. Yeah. So I think they do not fully understand the responsibility of taking care of another life. So as a parents, I think we have to make sure this is a serious and well-thought family decisions made by the adult in a household rather than by the kids. Yeah. And then the second thing is we all know family life with children is extremely busy, right? So as a parents, I think we have to make sure we have the sufficient time, manpower to take care of the dog, to provide the training they need, and then also to educate our children how to interact with the dog properly. Because we do have a lot of abandonment or surrender case is because they are lack of training or lack of education to the children. Yeah. So we really want to avoid this from happening. And then the third thing is I would say this is rule number 1 is never let your children decide which dogs to adopt.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah, because from our experience, the children will just love the dog the first dog they meet, or love the first dog kisses them, or love the smallest, cutest one like Barney.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that dog would be the suitable family member for your own household. So I think the parents should make a sensible decision to really judge the personality, the sex, the age, or the possible size, whether that dog would be the perfect dog for your own family.
Actually, the first dog that we adopted was the cutest sized puppy and is now the size of a horse.
Oh.
So you do have to you have to take that into consideration. I also wanted to ask, what are the options available for families when looking to get a dog here in Hong Kong?
Of course, there's many pet shop, but of course we want everyone to support adoption instead. Actually, there's a lot of animal rescue organization in Hong Kong. Not only dog, but also like cat, rabbit, fish, tortoise, everything. So if you really want to support adoption, there's a lot of choices you have. And then if you want to like take Hong Kong Dog Rescue as an example, we have dogs or puppies of all ages, breed, size, personality, everything. So you just need to tell us what would fit you the best, and then we will recommend the right dog to you.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely always better to rescue than to buy. So we're definitely huge supporters of that.
Adopt, don't shop.
Exactly, exactly. So when we're talking about rescue versus buying, where do we start? Like, how do we explain the key differences to families when they're considering? Like, what are the key differences to the buying versus rescuing?
I think most parents that they think of getting a dog is because they want to nurture the sense of responsibility for the children through taking care of the dog, or to nurture their love of animals. So adoption would be a really good start, because most these kind of rescue dogs are homeless or born unwanted. So I think it's a really good start to tell the children how they can help or save a life that is in need. And then hello darling. So and then also every adoption is actually saving 2 lives. That is the life you adopt, and then also you free up the space for the organization to take in 1 more dog in need. So it's actually saving 2 lives.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why I think it is a really good start to teach our children how to really love the animal, because animals should not be, bought by money or like a trading things. Yeah.
And there's also a high amount of the breeding when you come into like purchasing. So can you tell us a bit more about what goes on with... Oh, we've got a question already in. Sorry.
Okay.
Thanks, Steve. What's the question?
Oh, we've got a comment from Christine, who says, I want to adopt Barney.
So do we.
Wow. I think he's not going to be around for long. He's so cute.
He is so delicious.
That's awesome.
When families look at the option of buying, obviously from the outside it always looks really good, right? You just pick and choose. They look like they're in perfect condition. In comparison to when you go rescue, sometimes the dogs, don't look as attractive as when you do with the buying. But what are the real problems that happen with buying that are happening behind the scenes from a breeding perspective?
Yeah, actually we have come across a lot of a lot of dogs that come from the breeder factory, and then they're all in poor health condition. And then the welfare is very poor, the health condition is extremely poor. So we really don't want people to support this kind of industry, because when we see cute puppies in a pet shop, of course they're so lovely, and then we really want to bring them home. But if you think about the behind the scenes thing, that is absolutely inhumane. And then every puppy you buy, actually you are creating a need in the market, and then the builder will provide more supply. So I think we definitely have to stop the cycle by stop buying. Yeah, and then if you are in a pet shop, because they are businessmen, right? So they will just push you to buy this, to buy that, or even that dog may not be suitable for your family. They will still sell you hardly. But if you adopt from an organizations, because we do really care about our dog, so we will not let anybody to just have our dog. We'll make sure your health, your family profile or household setting or experience is suitable, and then we'll let you adopt. So I think if you think about the welfare things, then absolutely support adoption.
Actually,
Yeah.
I think that New York is banning pet shops.
Oh,
So that's
really?
amazing. Yes, and if every city did that, that would be
Yeah.
fantastic.
And
Yes.
some of the stories that come up from the
Yeah.
overbreeding is just frightening, like
Yeah.
absolutely frightening.
Yeah.
But as I say, when you've got kids, sometimes it's harder when they come into like
Or walk past a pet shop.
Yeah,
Yes.
so like,
Oh,
they
yes.
all look like they're perfect. You know,
Yeah.
they want that picture perfect. Pooch,
Oh.
you know?
Okay, we have another comment from Marta who says, interesting point. Never let your child decide on which dogs to adopt, as pets may not fit into your home or lifestyle. This helps with nurturing responsibility.
So true.
Thank
It's
you,
actually
Marta.
one of
That's a great point.
Yeah, it's a really good point.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about, because we do. We think like, oh, you pick which one.
We
you
do like
you
pleasing
know?
our kids, don't we? So, yes.
And then from our experience, usually maybe the child may cry a little bit if you don't choose the one they love.
Yes.
But if you really, bring the dogs home, they will love it
Yeah.
anyway.
They become part of the family very
Yeah,
quickly. So,
yeah.
yeah. Okay. Just a reminder that you are watching Little Steps Live, and today we are learning all about adopting a dog, which is such a hot topic. So we have split today's chat with Cactus from Hong Kong Dog Rescue into 4 key areas. Next up, we will be talking about how to prepare the family and the home after you've adopted a dog. And please do let us know if you have any questions while we have Cactus with us. Okay, Cactus, so let's talk about how to prepare the family and the home. Okay, let's start with, how do you prepare your home for a new dog?
Before for the dog, I think it is very important to do your own research, to understand the dog needs, or if you have any specific breed in your mind that maybe I love a poodle or like a Shiba Inu, do your own research, because it is very important. Breed, they have their own personality as well, and then some breed they do have a stronger build, like Shiba Inu or Chow Chow, that they look cute but may not be a very ideal family dog. So
Right.
do your own research. This is the first thing. And then for the basic supplies like dog bed, water bowl, food bowl, food and toys. And then I would always recommend dog owners to prepare a baby gate.
Okay.
Or fences. So because in the beginning you may not want to have your newly adopted dogs to just free walk around the house, go into your bedroom and then make a pee accident, right?
Right.
Or you don't want your dog to chill on the electrical
Cords.
cord, right? So I think it's always good to have a baby gate installed in the doorway, like maybe in the kitchen or a spare room, so that you can provide a dog-proof confined area where no supervisions can be provided.
Right. That's good
And
advice.
then also, it's very important to have a family meeting beforehand, so that all people are on board, and then you can have a discussion. What is the feeding arrangement, the sleeping arrangement, where does the dog stuffs be put in, and then also to discuss about the routine and then the allocation of the duties.
Yes.
Who responsible to feed the dog? Who is responsible to walk the dog? So maybe 3 times a day.
Yes, so that's definitely a discussion.
allocate.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, so next I'm going to ask you, how do you settle a dog into a new home? Any tips on that?
Especially because we're talking about family with children, right? Kids will be very excited if you have a new dog home, and then we really have to ask our children to give the dog time and space to settle down, to just leave the dog alone, maybe at least in the first day home, because when a dog to live in an entirely new environment with a whole house of stranger is actually an extremely stressful event.
Yeah, okay.
About that.
No.
So give them space and time to settle down, have a good sleep in the first night, and then also to maintain a relatively stable routine for at least 2 weeks.
Right from the
And then,
beginning.
yeah,
Yep.
most dogs they respond the best with consistency. So gradually they will open up themselves more. Yeah.
Okay. I think we've sort of briefly touched on this already, but how do dogs adjust to a new family?
Yeah, this is a really good question, because sometimes we forgot their need because of the stressful thing, because of the nervousness living in a new environment. Some dogs, they may be a little bit protective of themselves in the beginning or in the first few days, or they will be more quiet, reserved, or some dogs they may have diarrhea.
Oh,
or
okay.
lack
Yep.
of
Yep.
or a lack of appetite in the first
Right.
few days. Yeah, so do keep them as carefree as much as possible. Give them space and time to settle down. Most dogs they will become more playful, affectionate in a few days.
Right.
But most dogs they will fully settle down in around 2 weeks.
Okay, so they're cautious for the first 2 weeks, and then okay. And the last question is, how much responsibility do you think children should have in taking care of the dog?
I think children should always be only the assistant rather
Okay.
than to take the lead,
The
to
lead.
in charge of anything. And then it's very important that, especially between a young children, every interaction between the young children or babies or toddler with the dogs must be supervised by an adult. And then, but I think we can always incorporate our children to help with the feeding, to help with the training games, or they can help to tidy up the dog toys and maybe clean after the dog. Clean after the dog when you are on walks. That's challenging.
Easier said than done, that one.
That is challenging, but that is responsibility,
Right,
right?
it's true.
Yeah. So but it is very important that we should never let our children to walk the dog. I mean not walk the dog, but the leash must be held by an adult rather than a child, because there's so many uncertainties on the street, so it's dangerous. It could be dangerous.
Yes.
And then we should also teach our children they should never disturb a dog when they are eating, chewing bones, or sleeping.
Okay. Great advice.
That is really good.
Yes.
Just to remind you guys, you're on Little Steps Live. We're here at Hong Kong Dog Rescue. We're on Instagram and on Facebook, so I'm looking at both. We're here with Cactus. She's the Education and Training Manager at Hong Kong Dog Rescue, and she's just filled with loads of great tips and knowledge. And we've just been covering about how to know when you're ready to adopt, as well as preparing the house before you bring the dog home. And so we also wanted to go on to learn a bit more about which breeds are best for the family. So kind of, we were talking about this. So send us any questions and any love as well along the way while we're here with Cactus and with Barney. Let's not forget Barney, our favorite new furry friend.
I'll give him a little cuddle if
He's
that's
being
okay.
so good. Leah's like dying.
I'm sorry.
So
Yes.
delicious.
Yes,
He
of
hung
course.
onto Leah's arm earlier.
I think we've bonded already.
Yeah. So what we were talking about before is when we're looking at, we mentioned it kind of earlier when we were saying, when we're making that decision as a family about adopting and we feel that we are ready, we were saying about what kind of breeds would be best, and maybe you could explain more for families when you've got younger, like babies, kids, even kids with like special needs. What would you say about the breeds to look out for?
Actually, breed is just a brand name, if you ask me. So we will usually suggest owner to just forget about the breed, but look at the personality of the dogs. I think babies will be actually easier because you know baby usually just sleep on the bed or carried by an adult. But when it is a toddler, then it may be more challenging because they started to move around, they grab things, and then for young children it's especially more important because they make sudden movement, sudden noise, and then you may start to have some friends to visit your home.
Yes.
Right? So usually we'll suggest parents to adopt a dog that has a more calm personality, more laid back, and then definitely not with a history of aggression.
Okay.
Yeah, some dogs they are more affectionate than the other. Or some dogs, if you just look at the breed like Shiba Inu, which is super popular, a trend recently, but most of them don't make a really good pet for family with children because personality wise, they are more independent. Like something like that. So just do your own research before you really bring a dog home, or talk to the adoption staff, because we know our dogs the best. We know their personality, and then some dogs we know their background. You know, maybe they have lived in families with children before. Or they are fostered by a family with children before, so we will have more idea about how will they get along with family with children.
I think that's so important because you actually hold the dogs for a fair amount of time. They have like health checks, and then you're able to kind of understand more about their personality to give that kind of advice. So that's super useful. I know I remember years ago we were adopting, we really loved the idea of Cocker Spaniels, and they also aren't very good with kids. So, but they're gorgeous with their long fluffy ears, so you can be like taken, you know. And also I suppose mixed is sometimes difficult to always know what kind of personality they might have. But it's all about the kind of personality and figuring out what would work best. But they do get a fright. Dogs get a fright with toddlers because those sudden moves put them on edge, and then they can respond. Toe grab. Yeah.
But most dogs are actually very tolerant.
Okay.
Yeah, but of course that's why I say every interaction between small children and dogs must be supervised, because most of the time dogs are the one who tolerate. But you know, every dogs, when they have a bottom line, even the most sweetest dog in the world, like a golden retriever, they could bite if they want, if the bottom line is tested. So dog parents should, you know, supervise every interaction.
And you made a good point about friends. I think a lot of us have like the play dates where the kids come home and other kids preparing them. So friends that don't have dogs.
When they don't have dogs.
Right? And then they get scared.
Or too excited.
Yeah.
And maybe don't realise you have to be a little bit gentle with the puppy.
Yeah. So I see that a lot where you kind of like, don't be scared. Okay, you need to keep walking. You need to do things. And then I was going to ask from a breed perspective, this has come up quite a lot recently with friends that are really interested, and the kids have got older, but somebody in the family struggles with allergies. So have you got any advice with like breeds that are best for people that have allergies in the family?
There's certain coat type we call a hypoallergic coat type, like a poodles or schnauzers. We usually recommend these two breeds to people that have known allergy. Yeah, but sometimes if the allergy is just very mild, sometimes the allergy is not about the dogs. Sometimes it's about the dust or, you know, the environment. So maybe just by cleaning up your home more often, or just disinfect everything, would help the allergy already, rather than all the allergy is about the dogs.
So our poodle, who was rescued from here, Barley is a poodle, and I noticed that they don't shed. Is that why they are better? They're hyperallergenic because they don't have an undercoat or something?
They will still shade, but just less than the other dog. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Wow, so much great information and amazing tips. Thanks, Cactus. It's very helpful. You are watching Little Steps Live. We are with Cactus from Hong Kong Dog Rescue, and we are talking all things dogs. Do make sure you go back and watch from the start if you missed it, because we've covered some really great things, like how to know if you're ready to adopt a dog, plus tips on preparing. Getting licks here from the adorable Barley. How to prepare the family and home for a new dog, and even a breakdown of the best breeds for different families. And we thought we would end today's interview with how important is dog training. And please do ask us questions if you have any, while we have Cactus here, who is a specialist in dog training. Okay, so why don't we start with, is it important to train my dog, and why?
I think before we train the dog, it is even more important to train ourselves first.
Okay.
Like everyone, before they have their first trial, they will read a lot of books about parenting, about the baby needs, about their growth, about their development, about how to teach them new things.
Right.
So it is exactly the same when we have a puppy or when we have a dog in life, because by understand their dogs, the dog's need, their body language, their emotion, how they learn, etc., would really help us to communicate with our dogs. And then by communicating well, actually sometimes you just by communication, you already have a pretty happy life with your dog. Without much training. So I would think before we train our dog, it is very important to
to work on
train
ourselves. I like that. Yes.
first.
Okay.
And then, but of course, because dog, this is not a natural world for the dog. This is a city life, and then artificial world for our dogs. So we still have to teach them some technique to live in harmony with the people in city life, right? So I think it's very important to teach them some basic manner. Like do not jump on people, do not jump or bark for attention or food, etc. When they play, do not use their mouth to play with we humans. It's extremely hurtful, right?
Right.
And then or to familiarize with the environment in the city life, right? Like the strangers, other dogs, the traffic, the noises, and then some necessary procedures like health checkup, held by the vet, or needles, or grooming, etc. I think these are the things that we have to help our dogs to familiarize with. Do not focus on particular cute like sit or down or stay. Those are useful, but more important is how to apply them in daily life.
Okay. Well, I was going to ask what sort of training you would recommend. I think you've just answered that. So, what do you think the best age of a puppy is to start training?
Actually, you can start training at any time.
Okay.
Yeah, not only puppy, but also if you are adopting a senior dog like 10.
It's not too old to
10-ish.
start training then?
Never too old, because every dog has their learning ability. Just that maybe some senior dog, they have an old habit they have repeated for a long time, then you may spend a longer time to help them to undo it.
Right.
Yeah, and then if you use reward-based only training methods without physical correction or intimidation, then actually you can start training even like Barney, just 8 weeks old. Yeah.
Oh, Barney, you don't look like you need any training.
Yeah.
Starting to sprinkle here a little bit. And how is the best way to involve children in training a dog?
Actually, from my experience, most children are better trainer
Okay.
than their parents. Because we have our own training class, and then in our own training class we have the whole family, sometimes the parents with the domestic helper, and also with the young children to attend the class with the dogs as well. And then from our experience is the children are usually pick up the technique quite quickly, and then the timing are more precise.
Wow.
Yeah, but of course we should let the parents to take the lead.
Yes,
The parents should also attend the training class with the children, so that they learn what is the step, what is the criteria, and then they can guide the children throughout the training part.
And then we're all doing the same thing, I suppose.
Everybody's on the
That's
same
thing.
page.
Yeah,
right.
consistency.
Dogs not
is
getting
really
confused.
important.
Yes. Oh, you're too cute. Okay, thanks, Cactus.
Welcome.
Thanks so much. So I just wondered if there were any other questions that had come through for us at the moment. No, we're all good. I hope you're sending us loads of love and giving Barney so much of the love over as well. What we wanted to do was actually go inside and see some of the dogs that are here at the Applechai Dog Centre. So we're just going to we're going to just move the phone from the
We'll
stand.
be right back.
And then we'll walk on through and go and see. So be prepared because it will be nice and noisy as the dogs are excited to see us come in. So come on, Barney, show us where you're living at the moment. I think it's perfect timing because it's about
starting to rain,
start
so I'm
raining.
actually glad we're going in. It is probably going to get a bit noisy now.
All right, let's go and see what we've got inside. Right. Who's in here? My goodness.
So how many dogs do you have in the centre at the moment, in this centre?
Around 30 to 40.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the area we have our small size dogs.
Okay.
Okay, the
A
smaller
lot of
dogs.
poodles.
And this is the older dogs here?
Sorry?
This is older dogs, or it's puppies and
They're
older dogs?
Adult and some puppies
Adults.
as well.
Okay, so just the smaller breeds.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Look at the little ones.
Dogs are social
Look, and he's
animals.
scared.
So
Right.
if possible, we prefer to have dogs to play and then stay around with each other,
Right.
rather than just trap them into a small confined area alone.
This is actually very nice in
Yeah.
comparison to what you can go and see when you go
Yeah.
to rescues.
So most of them have a pretty happy life here.
Right.
Yes.
And then they have a lot of friends to play with.
Yeah.
And we have
Lots of great
lot of
volunteers.
great volunteers to come to walk them every day, to play with them, and then
And would you recommend, is that the volunteering actually open? Like, could you come with, as a family with kids, to come and actually take dogs for walks?
Actually, we have an age policy that
Okay.
must be over 18 years old.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we have an orientation for every new volunteer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
but sometimes some parents, they will join our orientation themselves, and then when they are familiarized with when they are familiar with our setting and then the staff, the rules, and the dogs, they will bring their children
Oh,
along.
divine.
They will tag along, so that then maybe the children, they can wait outside, and then when the parents will take a dog for a walk, they can go
Join
to the
them.
dog
Right.
together.
That's great. And you do lots of adoption days too, don't you? Where,
Yeah,
yes.
we have 2 adoption days. One will be regular on Sunday, that is
Okay.
in Brisket and Paul's.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then one is on first and third Saturday in Concordia Pet in Happy Valley.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
wow.
wonderful.
Okay.
And is that how most of the dogs do get adopted, from those adoption days, or is it from here, from the centre?
Half
But-
half.
okay.
Yeah. For the adoption day is mainly for the multi-breed puppies.
For multi-breed.
For the multi-breed puppies.
Okay.
Yeah, from here that will mainly be the the adult dogs.
Oh, okay. And it is like sometimes I think adults get missed off when families look because they want to do puppies, you know, and people can fall.
most people want puppies,
Yeah.
but as a trainer, my suggestion would be not baby puppies.
Right.
Maybe older puppies to start with, because
Yeah.
their health is more stable.
Right, of
We
course.
have more idea about their personalities,
Yes.
and then the pay bite will be less painful.
It's true.
Probably much calmer as well.
And then you will have more idea of their size and personality as well. Yeah, and adult dog is even more stable.
And when is Barney available? When will Barney be on the market for adoption?
It will be soon.
Very soon. Did you hear that?
Oh, you're gonna have a home, my baby.
Yes.
Oh, so delicious. Thank you. I try not to get all ourselves wrapped up. Actually, yeah, I did.
Maybe we do have a few questions that have come
Yeah.
through. So
How do I? Sorry, I'm just using my cards. How do I successfully introduce a second dog to the family?
My advice is always let your dog to choose.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Okay.
Because that is their friend,
Right.
not really your friend, right? Because usually when we want to adopt a second dog, is we want our dog to have a friend to play with at
Right.
home. And then dogs, they do have their own chemistry. Sometimes it's actually much smoother, easier if you let your dog to choose their own friend.
two
We
will be very
welcome a family to bring their own dog to our homing center,
see.
and then we will bring our the dogs that we think may be fit to go to the dog park
makes-
to interact with your
Have a
own
play
perfect
date.
sense. I love that. Yeah, I like that very much.
Because if you force your dog to be friend with another dog that you choose, I mean, it's fine sometime,
Right.
but you will have to spend a lot of effort and then patience and time to help them.
Right.
But if you let them choose themselves, blah.
naturally
Yeah,
happen.
they get off on the right foot
Much
or right
easier.
paw. Excuse my sad joke.
Just on it. Was there another question? It was.
Yes.
How important is considering a flat size when adopting a dog?
Many people concerned about that as well.
Yeah.
But usually, if you give sufficient exercise and mental
Okay.
stimulation daily, most dogs, they just sleep.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
naturally they sleep over 50% of the day. That is
I should
I
be a
want to
dog.
come back.
that is a natural behavior.
Yes.
So I think if the size will not be a huge matter,
As long as they
but
get
as long,
exercise.
But of course it should be reasonable, right?
Right.
If you have two husky in a 300 square feet apartment, then it is not reasonable.
Cruel, right.
Yeah, so I think be reasonable is fine.
Yeah.
But don't forget our mongrel dogs.
Yeah.
Some people, they don't want to adopt a medium or large size dog just because they think their apartment is not large enough. But I think if you provide sufficient exercise,
What's
that is
sufficient
fine.
exercise? What would you say
We,
a mongrel would need, for example?
We recommend at least 2 to 3 times of walking daily with only one exercise. I mean, one long walk, like
Okay.
45 minutes to 1 hour.
Okay.
That your dog is tired, and then plus 2 maybe short toilet breaks.
Oh, okay.
But it depends on your dog's own personality.
Yeah,
the
and
energy.
Yes.
And age. That's
Okay.
so true. Was there another
I think
question?
there's one last question, and we sort of touched on this already, but should we take kids to dog shelters?
It quite depends.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we notice that children are extremely excited when they see a lot of dogs, but some children, they are scared.
Yeah, I know.
Even though they may love dogs,
Overwhelming.
they may love dogs generally, but they will still find it very scary to have a lot of dogs to jump on them.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on your children's own personality. But you can always pick a dog that you think would be suitable, and then let them to just maybe meet up in a dog park or something,
Right,
or
more
in a
one-on-one.
quieter area. And I think it is not necessarily to let the children to choose
to
this
choose,
dog.
yeah.
Maybe
That's
you
good
just
advice.
choose the one you think would be suitable, and then bring the dog home. The children will be as happy as ever.
Our kids absolutely love our dogs, and your boys are loving
Oh,
your new dog.
we have we adopted a puppy about a month ago, and my boys are obsessed. It's
Yeah.
super cute. Yeah,
Yeah. And we're
great.
going to get for the rest of the team while we're here.
I think so.
Thank you so much, Cactus. It's really been super interesting, and I hope that we've answered all of your questions, because it's such a big decision, and I hope that you understand the reasons why, and we've seen today why it's so important to go
This
rescue.
one is so cute.
I know,
Oh my goodness.
so cute.
And just one quick reminder, our next Facebook Live is going to be with the wonderful Emma and Chris from Backyard Gang. It is going
That's
to
gonna
be
be amazing.
an amazing session, and we are going to be learning about the importance of outdoor education for kids. So make sure you join us on March 27 at 11 a.m. And you can find the event details on our Facebook page. Just make sure you click interested so that the reminders will be sent directly to your phone.
Awesome.
so
Thanks so
we are
much,
gonna
guys. Hope you
sign
had an
off.
awesome session. We're off to play with the dogs, and we'll see you soon. Keeping you in the know and on the go.